Exit light. Enter night. Take my hand. We're off to Never Never Land.
Ooh, Metallica.
Now I lay me down to sleep. Pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I die before I wake, pray the Lord my soul to take. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. And never mind that noise you heard.
Sleep tight now, child.
It's just a beast under your bed, in your closet and in your head. Maybe the most popular song about sleep ever.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, I think so.
And honestly, if I was like 7, that wouldn't scare me at all. I'd go straight to sleep.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to sing that to my child in the glider chair before he would go off to sleep.
Just
Poor
like
Jack.
that with the whole voice and everything?
I did it calmly, like exit light, enter night, and then at the end, just do it up. I'm going to cough now because I hurt my throat.
Yeah, that was pretty guttural.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So, like, we're talking sleep, right? It was just last week that whole daylight saving time thing happened, right?
They say it takes 6 weeks hormonally and metabolically for your body to adjust to the time change. So
Really?
we're only 1/6 of the way in, and I'm
Okay.
still feeling it.
Now, I'm still feeling it as well, but if it's not me, it's not about me anymore, right? It's about the kids.
Yes.
And it was so good in a way that my kid's internal clock is still so immature that it's like a 5 a.m., a 5:15, 5:20 on a Saturday or Sunday morning, and I'm kind of sick of it.
Yeah.
So even if they still wanted to get up at 5, it would be 6.
Yeah.
Now, they slept until 7, which was 6, which was great. And then, I don't know what happened. Throughout the day, they like tired themselves out. They went to bed at 7 again.
That's all right. You want it every day then.
So far, so good.
That's awesome.
Yes, I was so happy. So happy. It's the other one. Even though you gain an hour of sleep, I hate it.
Yeah.
I actually felt like $1 million on that day when we switched over. And
You did?
Yeah, and I guess because it was like where we are in Toronto area. It was sunny. It was just nice. So I think it was I don't know. I just really tackled the day.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky. It doesn't really bother me that much, but it's incredible that you're saying it takes 6 weeks to really get it back.
It takes 6 weeks, and I want to tell you, one way that they study kids and their sleep is they look in their poop.
Right.
And there's a poop study that has come out showing the fact that if kids go to bed before 9:30 p.m., they have 3 types of bacteria in their gut, and gut health equals brain health, which equals all sorts of good stuff. And they're saying that 9:30 is the real cutoff for kids. I think it's maybe not as young as Johnny's kids,
Right.
but our kids, if you try to get them to bed before 9:30, they're going to have those 3 healthy gut bacteria and affect their whole life, make them more immune to like illness, make them better at school because they're more alert. Like it's really good.
Is that based on a wake-up time? Like if they go to bed before 9:30 and wake up at 6.
Doesn't matter when they're waking up. They say it's the hours before midnight that count the most when you come. And even for adults, it's not quite that early for us. It's between 10 and 11. But they say the hours before midnight that you are sleeping, the better it is for all these things.
It's incredible. You have people that want to do that for a living.
Study kids poop.
Unbelievable.
I know.
Do you remember when that pandemic thing was happening? And at least here in Ontario,
right?
It'd always be like, we tested wastewater.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
they're still looking in poop to see what's coming.
I hope you're wearing gloves, right? Like we tested wastewater. And the wastewater is telling us, like it's like you didn't just go through wastewater.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about it like we just did a test. Like you're just testing the chlorine in your pool.
I always picture people at dinner parties saying what they do, and that one, like you shook someone's hand, you're sitting there, you know, at the little crudité table. They're like, what do you do for a living? Wouldn't you just be like?
Oh, God, yeah.
Like you've been eating nachos from the same plate.
But it's fascinating that it's not so much that it's a certain amount of sleep. It's the certain time you get to sleep.
That's it.
That's very interesting. And I'll tell you right now, you know, during like the March break time. So I have, a 10-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 16-year-old. And it's weird. The 10-year-old is still a kid and still sleeping kid times.
Yeah.
14-year-old, video games. I'm 16-year-old.
So glad school's back this week because last week's March break threw everybody into this. It's within
crazy.
days, right, Ryan? Your house becomes a frat house.
And then the problem is trying to get it back, heading back into school. So like Johnny, for example, with his kid's age, if they're up in the middle of the night, it might be a nightmare. Might be maybe pee-pee. Did pee-pee bed still?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe poo-poo bed?
Maybe.
No.
Yeah,
No, don't say it out loud, please. It hasn't happened yet, so I would like you to stop saying it now.
Wait, they're your children and they've never shit the bed?
Easy. Watch your mouth. I had a very high fever.
Ross, this man
No.
here-
When was this?
I mean, in life, IBS, this guy. Is
know.
that wrong?
Listen, if you're talking specifically in the bed, once, and like I said, the fever was high. Probably should have been in the hospital,
Right.
but it didn't.
That's a song,
Now, if you're
right?
talking-
The fever is
if you're
high,
talking-
so I shit the bed.
if you're talking out in the wild,
Right.
right?
I just think
A,
that you're
a lot more.
like, for example, one of my children, I have a bit of I don't have a lot of patience, and I noticed one of my children takes after me because of genetics. I just assume that you have two children, at least one of them would have had Kakeen in the bed.
They have not kicked the bed yet.
Kakina in the bedroom, please don't stop it.
Okay,
Somebody's song.
Yeah.
that's amazing. No, they have yet. They haven't, which is fine, which is great. Can we move on? Like nobody's shitting in the beds.
Where was I going with this? Oh, yeah, okay. So,
You don't have any patience for your kids who shit in beds.
right. So your kids might get it for those types of reasons, which you can, you're sympathetic for. Sean and I go downstairs. We work on a morning show. 3:00 in the morning, I'm down in the kitchen trying to get the coffee going and head out the door. And I have a 16-year-old making frickin' lobster bisque.
It's true.
Like, it's not even a bowl of cereal
Sure.
anymore. It's full on pots and pans, frying pans, boiling this, ovens turned on. It's like if you dropped an alien in my kitchen at 3:00 in the morning, they would think it's 3 PM.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
crazy how life has flipped upside down for me. And so getting to sleep routines is so important, as you mentioned just
Yeah.
now, and trying to get them, you want to be a loose parent when it's March break, for example, right?
Yeah.
You go hard. Let's enjoy some time. But you got to get them back for that Monday
It's
morning.
crazy. And then the whole thing, there, like when I read these studies, there was another study that talked about how much sleep they need and bedtime routines and teenagers and blue light and screens. How do you get your 16, 17-year-old off of screens before bed? I mean, you don't even know what they're doing.
So I'm going to tell you a whole bunch of information you
Okay.
probably already know.
Okay.
Okay. So I did this bedtime checklist. And number 5 is develop a bedtime routine. But I feel like everything I'm about to tell you is part of a routine. You know what I mean? So like number 5 is develop a bedtime routine. But number 1 is be consistent. So like be consistent in your routine. My bedtime doesn't drastically change whatsoever. Whether it's the weekend or the weekdays.
For you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Or my children, really, unless like it's a special event or we're out at somewhere, like we're coming home late.
Weekends or
For the most part, it's the same every night.
Okay.
So
You're
they say
lucky.
be consistent. Control your environment. Do you like your sleep environment? I think my kids like their sleep environment.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You like Spider-Man? Your pillow shams are Spider-Man.
Right. No, it's true. I think my kids love the room because they're in it so much.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a good one.
But
I
they
think
still
our
wanna sleep
rooms
in it.
were not as nice as our kids. Our kids today have great home decor
Right.
in their rooms
Right.
compared to when we were kids.
Yeah, you had pictures of Brian Bloom.
Do you
Remember him?
Who's Brian Bloom?
Wasn't there a guy named Brian Bloom? He had like really crazy blue eyes. He's like
Oh
one of
my
those actors
God,
that
I haven't thought about. Yes, I know who you're talking
he'd often
about.
be like the boyfriend in a sitcom sometimes, like the stud.
I know exactly. I don't think his name is Brian Bloom, but I know who you're talking about.
Guess what? Your birthday present next year, poster. In fact, he's probably out of work. I could probably get him in the studio.
this guy?
Yeah, I remember him.
That's it. Is his name Brian Bloom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How weird is that? Yet I don't know
I knew
my...
exactly who
Yeah.
you were talking about,
Yeah.
though.
So that's what you had in your room.
Yeah.
And I know our kids have like
I don't even
awesome-
recognize this guy. You're saying she's got posters of this guy in the wall?
He was someone's boyfriend on a
Was he?
sitcom.
Always, yeah.
I don't.
I think he was on Growing Pains. or
Yeah, I want to say
something.
Growing Pains or something.
Interesting.
Chandler Bing was also a boyfriend, and then he died. Remember that episode?
That's right.
Remember that? She gets home from the hospital. He's
No.
all good.
Nope.
Then Mike Seaver's
Tracy
like, yo,
Gold.
Tracy Gold, I got to tell you, I hate to tell you, your boyfriend's dead. It was Chandler,
What?
Chandler Bing.
No.
Yeah.
I don't
It
know.
was Perry.
Oh, that's a great scene.
So to your point, also about screens and devices, it says power down.
I tend to veer.
Sure did. You veered it up.
What's number 2? Not number 2 in the bed?
Number 2 is control your environment.
Oh, okay.
And control your
Control your
Bowels?
yes.
bowels.
Number 3 is power down, right? You know, to take the screens down. Number 4 is watch what you consume: food, caffeine, alcohol, all that
I
stuff.
think that's over.
Stop drinking 4 hours before you go to bed.
Booze?
It says coffee, but just the prude in me also says yes, booze.
You know what I would agree with booze in one sense? Is that you ever get the, it's like, what's that word called? You wake up in a panic of stuff.
Like a night terror.
Yeah, and like not because of what you're sleeping, like you start to wonder, like, what did I do last night? Did I say something stupid? Like if I'm talking if you're drunk.
Yeah.
And then you wake up in the middle of the night and then your brain
Anxiety?
Anxiety. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Number 5, develop a bedtime routine. We just went over that. Number 6 is exercise. I'm good. No thanks.
What do you mean, no thanks? You've never done a meditation yoga before bed?
No. My mother.
What about God's sleeping pill?
Nope.
God's sleeping pill?
Oh, yeah.
Roz is looking inquisitive. Say it out loud with your mouth.
Masturbation yoga, I would say. You said meditation yoga, but they call it God's sleeping pill because it's natural and it tends to like you do it and then you're.
But what if you need screens? That's what I'm trying to do.
So there's too much blue light, so it kind of counteracts each other.
I always wonder.
Wow,
that.
it's like saying don't take grapefruit with pills because the pills won't work as good.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know.
Can I just go back to one of your things about routine? And this is where you're very lucky at your kid's age, and it will change, unfortunately, for you.
Don't talk about my kids.
Is that you can do that, right? Like you can do that where for Shauna and myself, just having older kids, that's the only reason is you might have a hockey game that's out of town. And so you can't say everyone's going to bed at 9 when you don't even get home until 11.
Yep.
And so that's the hardest part, I think, for me juggling 3 children is there is no such thing as routine.
No, for sure. And, as, you're in a really hard stage and you're in a really hard stage, Shauna, where, you can't do these things. But like they say, if you can adhere to the plan
I get
as
it.
much as possible, sleep on a good mattress, right? 8 to 10 years, you got to switch them out.
Wow.
Like, what are you sleeping on? 22 years?
It's pretty old.
Yeah.
No, I think I got a new one, new marriage, new mattress.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
But yours? That's the dog years?
I think my current husband required.
I think it's a workout, yo.
Is there,
Oh, yeah. Actually, this is so embarrassing. Just a little side note. I like to veer as well.
Yeah.
We had to call a sleep expert because it was within the warranty. They have to this is so embarrassing. We had 2 indents in the mattress.
Yeah.
And they have to come and measure.
Oh, yeah.
And it was I'll be honest, it was knees. And they have to measure how deep these indents were, whether they would honor the warranty. So there's some dude with a tape measure measuring the knee imprints in my mattress.
Okay, I would rather that job than measure kids' poop.
Yeah, true.
Sure.
Imagine if you're like brothers and you're like, what do you do? Oh, I basically look at mattresses to see how hard people are banging. What about you? Oh, I look at kids' stool and let them know if they slept enough. That sucks, eh?
That's a coin toss for the worst job. We had to do that as well for the warranty. It did not get warrantized. We had to just buy a new mattress.
Johnny, boom, boom, boom. It
Johnny's-
didn't go through, huh?
No, Johnny's just from wrestling.
No, but we had to get a new drywall.
Whoa!
Yeah.
The Welsh hammer.
Number.
Or was it the IBS?
So you're saying that like while I bang, I also shit? Is that what you're saying? I IBS the wall out? That doesn't even make any sense.
That takes a special kind of woman to see through that.
That doesn't make any sense. Number 7, good mattress talk. Number 8, limit your naps. Not happening. I'm a 2-hour day guy. Number 9, don't bring anxieties to bed. Fuck that.
Yeah, you have bang IBS. That's anxiety.
Number 10, know when to see a doctor. Chronic insomnia is really going to have an issue with it. I want to ask you guys a question. How do you say this? Do you like sleeping in a bed where you make coitus?
I love it.
Do you wish that you had a separate bed for sleeping than relations?
Oh, no. I sleep better in coitus beds.
I never really thought about it, to be honest with you.
I think about it all the time.
You do?
I'm like, this just happened here and now I'm supposed to relax on it?
Oh, it's the best. I think there's like stuff that comes out. I sleep way better.
Okay, can I ask you a question then?
Yeah.
Since you really don't care. Do you find it odd if, like, say, one of your children is sick, it doesn't feel good, and they want to cuddle with mommy in that same bed?
I find it fucking hilarious. And I know I have a sick sense of humor.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm like, oh, God, if they only knew.
Sure.
And then I have a horrible thought. I probably went into my parents' bed.
Oh, Shauna, how can you think that way?
And then I laugh at that, too. I have a really sick sense of humor.
God, I don't even want to think about that.
I'll think about
Your
sometimes
parents?
your mom kissed you goodnight, like right after.
Oh, stop it. Don't you talk about my mother that way.
I don't know your parents.
Right.
Shauna, I don't know your parents. I know your parents. I can't see it.
And I know I can't see your parents either because they divorced and they didn't like each other.
Which divorce? My dad's on. My dad's on his third. My mom's on her second. Which one?
Your
Like my
OG.
actual biologist, my OG parents? Rick and Audrey?
When Johnny slipped into that bed, it wasn't damp. There was no wet spots. It
No.
was fine.
Oh, yeah. It was very dry.
I shared a wall.
Emotional support and everything else. Just bone dry.
I shared a wall with my parents for the
Really?
first
It's me, eh, guys?
18
Okay, thanks.
years of my life, and they had a waterbed. And Sunday mornings, it was like a wave machine. Tidal waves hit my wall every Sunday morning. I knew eventually what was going on in there.
Is your dad Burt Reynolds? Your parents had a waterbed?
Yeah.
Who was Ginger and who was the professor?
I'm just saying that I know that they had a good time.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad. Judy and Ted deserve all the goodness in life.
Isn't it amazing, though, when you were a kid?
Yes.
I remember telling my parents, whoever invented bed, I can't stand. I hated that person, right? Because you just never wanted to go to bed. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, I think I could put in a solid stint. Like, I think I could give a weekend in bed. If someone said, we'll take all of your responsibilities away, I'm going to give you a TV, your phone, and bring you snacks. Like, there's times where I think I could do 2 years in prison as long as I didn't get inappropriately touched by another prisoner.
Wow.
I also felt that way. I remember getting the chicken pox as a child, and that's where my first love of my bed really happened. I was like 12 or 13. I'm like, you know what, this is pretty good. My dad wheeled in the black and white TV on the cart, and the TV in the room. Like, people didn't have TVs in the room back then. And I'm like, this is really good. I would like it. If somebody needed a bed sore tester, how long would it take a human to get bed sores if they just I'm your guy. Let me lie here until the sores open up.
Did you say a black and white television?
Yes.
What
Are
year
you-
did you get the chicken pox? 1952.
No, like 1980, like 1986, 87. Like, sorry.
Look,
I'm
see?
sorry.
Hey, son.
And he got it wheeled in on a cart. Did he live in a school?
It was like a TV cart. You guys didn't have a TV cart?
There's a new show called Leave It to Beaver.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You're too busy in your above ground pools. What are you talking about? There was a little tiny 12-inch black and white TV on a fucking cart. I'm so sorry. Does this sound so insane?
I just remember...
I had chicken pox, eh, guys? I had an infection.
Are you sure you
I was in big trouble. You guys talk more about the fucking TV cart than how sick I was.
You're so, I think. Are you sure it wasn't polio? Wait, how old are you?
What are you talking about? Kids get that shit.
No, it's a black and white TV. It's definitely polio or maybe rickets.
Daddy, I've heard about the new talkies. It's movies that talk to you. No more Charlie Chaplin.
Well,
Charlie Chaplin got him through polio.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Johnny goes to school, right? Goes to school and says, hey, guys, have you seen the new Charlie Chaplin movie? And the kids are like, no, I like Doug Gilmore.
He doesn't have IBS. He has like scurvy.
Oh, yeah, you got scurvy. Hey, why do you suck on a lime?
well,
What are you, a freaking pirate? Hey, how'd you get to school? The Mayflower? God, how old are you? Want to hear something weird, though? I mentioned Brian Bloom earlier.
Yeah.
Ready for this one? I loved Leave It to Beaver so much. So you would have been maybe 20 when that came out. Leave It to Beaver so much. I remember the woman who did hair and makeup on that show. You know how they have their names at the end? Look it up. Florence Bush. Look it up. Florence Bush did hair and makeup for Leave It to Beaver. I remember that show so much. I used to love it. Talk about being sick at home, IBS,
crazy.
watching TV.
Yeah.
Give yourself a little Price is Right, little Leave It to Beaver. Florence Bush.
Little beef bush.
Mm-hmm.
I just
I'll look it
remember
up.
what show Brian Bloom was on.
What was it?
It was Who's the Boss? He was Samantha's boyfriend, and they were trying to save the Peeplo. Remember that little obscure animal?
Yes.
Peeplo,
Yeah.
Peeplo. How do I remember that whole episode just
Weird.
now?
Weird, right? How do
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember Brian Bloom? Was it Florence Bush?
yep.
How weird is that?
R.I.P. By the way,
I would guess so.
1899 she was born.
Yeah, so you graduated with her.
Hilarious. You know what? Here, okay, that's fine. That's okay. It's okay.
Class of 12.
My phone number was 6. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for whatever.
Why is it over?
Keep going then. That's no problem. Keep going. Keep coming at me with your bullshit.
Okay, but can I just say one more thing? So we've got the guy that tests the sewer water,
Oh,
the
my
kids'
God.
poop, and the bed sore tester. Which one now? Because you threw
Right.
that third job in.
Yeah.
You want to be a bed sore tester.
Sure.
Check for bed sores? Like you're in bed so much that you got you got to turn them over.
I
Yeah.
think that's the worst job of the three.
We're talking about just lying there. You get a couple sores. You're being monitored by medical professionals. I'm not saying being a shut-in.
I don't know.
So what's the moral of this podcast? Sleep is important.
Sleep at the hours before midnight.
Right.
Routine, schedule, and I think that's about it. We summed it up, right?
So join us next week on the program. We have special guest, Brian Bloom, Florence Bush's grandson, will be joining the show.
And if you have any other totally rando guests you want to see on the show,
Yes.
like those two people, badparents@curiouscast.com.
Can we call that
.ca.
podcast
Yeah,
We Got Bush?
.ca.
We got Bush.
We
No.
Got Bush. That's what the
Don't
name
do
of
it,
the next.
Roz.
Look for the next podcast.
All right, fine. We'll tame it. We'll call it Shit the Bed.